So let's start. You and I met 10 years ago when your family was involved in a car wreck. Do you remember that car wreck?
I do. How funny that is. They were working on the 50 or the 101 south of Shea. So we had to go down to Indian Bend to get on, or I don't remember what accident it was. But so we went west on Shea, and we were stopped at Shea and Hayden, and there was a lot of traffic. And I watched a guy come up behind us in a pickup truck. We were in the minivan, and I saw that he wasn't stopping. He wasn't slowing down. He was texting or looking at his phone.
Who was in the car?
All five of us. So I was driving. Kimberly was next to me in the passenger front seat, and she was turned looking at me.
And Kimberly's your wife?
Kimberly's my wife. And then my oldest two children were in the second row, and my youngest was in the back row. And the two youngest children were in car seats. And I think that if that time that Liam was on a booster. I can't remember that for sure.
How hard did you get hit?
I want to say he was going about 40 miles an hour, but he just clipped. He saw us at the very end, and I saw him pull his wheel hard to the right. But when he hit us, he blew the glass out of the back of the minivan. He blew the glass out of the side of the minivan, and Kimberly hit the front windshield. So he hit us pretty hard, and it was all in slow motion. I could see the glass go around Campbell and his aura. It was undescribable. It was,
and that was long ago. And how did you come to find me to be your lawyer?
I think we were recommended to you. I forget who it was, a friend of mine that recommended that I call you because of your reputation.
And then we were able to conclude that case favorably for you and your family. And then recently, you're here today because your family was in another car wreck. Well, I guess 2 car wrecks. Explain that to us.
So the boys and I were headed south on the 51 right around Halloween. And I don't think it was this Halloween. I think it was the previous Halloween for that. And somebody rear-ended us and pushed us into the person in front of them and then took off. And Kimberly and Aaliyah were sitting at a stop sign.
In a separate day.
Separate day, separate accident. And I want to say that they were somewhere by Greenway and Tatum. Kimberly took her foot off the brake, and as the person in front of her started to roll forward, she started to go as well. She put her foot on the brake, and the girl behind her didn't see it, wasn't paying attention, and rear-ended them.
Well, in all your family was hurt in these, thankfully not catastrophically, but you all took pretty good pops, and your bodies were punished. The interesting thing about your case, I think, and one thing I want to tell our listeners about is, all your cases, we made claims for your uninsured coverage.
Right.
Because both your wreck and your wife's wreck, the people that hit you had no insurance.
Right. You guys had a hard time even finding information about the lady, the girl. I think she was 17 at that time, and all of her, she was a challenge. If I remember correctly, that whole situation was a challenge.
Yeah, and finally we were able to confirm there was no insurance, and luckily you'd bought uninsured coverage. Did you know about that product when you bought your insurance?
I did, and I would not have it just because I think when we moved here in 2005, 2006 timeframe, somebody told me that there were more red lights run in Phoenix, the whole community, than in anywhere else in the country. And if that number actually decreased by 50%, it would still be the most red lights run in the country by a significant percentage. So, I would not buy it.
Yeah, so you were fortunate enough to have uninsured coverage on your car. So even though the 2 people that hit you didn't have insurance, we were able to make claims and compensate you for your injuries.
Right.
And then you also had medical payments coverage when you bought your insurance. Do you remember what that was about?
Yeah, I always buy MedPay. Those are just some of the things. It's like buying glass coverage in Arizona. Those are certain things that glass coverage, it's not if, it's when. Medical coverage, it's not if, it's when. And same thing with the uninsured motorist, unfortunately.
And tell me this, Shawn, even though your family had good personal health insurance, you still bought MedPay coverage.
Yeah.
Why?
I think it makes sense because you don't get the MedPay coverage is a little different than personal insurance, and what's covered and the amounts that are covered, and I just think it makes complete sense. It's not an expensive option in your insurance.
Yeah, and you're more sophisticated than most buyers of insurance, and fortunately you are, because the group of wrecks you're in last here that you're here for today, I would have to give you the bad news, there's no recovery. But you were able then to get your family to get medical treatment,
right,
and then make a recovery above and beyond your medical expenses. And tell us, why did you come back to us a second time?
I was very pleased with the quality of service that you offered to me, Martin. Very professional, very thorough, and I think that you helped us get more for our injuries and what was coming to us than without the aggravation, within the professionalism that I would expect.
Well, I appreciate that, and you and I become friendly over the years, and we talk periodically even when we don't have, your family isn't in a car wreck, so right. I really appreciate you thinking of us. Now, tell me, though, give me the hard truth. Anything we could do better that would have served you and your family better in this law practice? Because we always want to strive to do better for our clients.
I think that the first time that you helped us versus the second time that you helped us, and I understand this as a employer of employees, that the couple of the paralegals that helped you, I don't think did as good of a job as you would have hoped, as I would have hoped they would have in their time frame. I don't know that we would have gotten any more compensation. That's an unknown to me.
Yeah, and you brought that to my attention, and when you did, I appreciated it, and we ended up going through your file thoroughly to make sure nothing was missed, and it wasn't. But I appreciate when clients let us know that there's areas where we can improve, and those paralegals are no longer here because you weren't the only one they were not treating to the satisfaction of what we want here at Gage Mathers.
It's unfortunate, but as you know, as an employer, no matter what your employee base is, it's a challenge. People don't always do what they say they're going to do and say what they're going to do, right? Is that do I have the analogy right?
I got it. So tell me, we'll kind of close on a personal note. You're here for your middle daughter's graduation, high school.
Yeah.
So she's 18?
She's 18. She's been 18 since the end of January. She's living with me in Colorado, so I don't live by myself. And she goes to school at Horizon in the morning, and now the Winter Park and Mary Jane are closed. They closed. Last day of skiing was Saturday, but she could get up at 7:30, be in school till 10:30, catch the bus from the apartment or condo to Mary Jane, where she had a locker and a ski pass, and go ski for 4 or 5 hours a day.
So she was. She's decided she's going to go to Colorado for college.
Right.
So you're already setting that up with her?
Yeah, it's all set up. She received about half in what's it?
Residents get a discount.
Discount and half, but she received about half in
grants and student loans.
Grants and student loans, right, and money available through scholarships.
Good.
And left me with about $30 a year, and so by being a resident, it knocks that down about $25,000.
Well, you've got your youngest son. He's still in high school, right?
He's still in high school, and Kimberly and Liam and Campbell live here in the house we have here, and Allie's with me in Colorado.
Well, the next step for you is the step that Liz and I just crossed, which was we became grandparents in January.
I'm not quite ready to be there. Not yet. But
you got a full head of hair. You got some time. But we really appreciate it, and all of us at Gage Mathers appreciate you and your family. And if we can ever help again on this or anything else, give us a call.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, man.